with the one and only Travis Armstead. This is a great story. I really think you all will enjoy it and a really good conversation. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. If you enjoy the video at the end, give it a like, leave a comment, show Travis some love. Here we go. All right. All right. Well, we're here with Travis Armstead. Thank you for coming today, Travis. I appreciate you giving your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm glad we can finally do this. I know it's taken a while, but I think it's kind of cool that it's happening now. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. So, let's start with you have an interesting story. Why don't we start with you sharing your story and kind of how it started and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. From a kid, I've struggled with my weight. I've always been the bigger kid. And then once I got to high school, that worked out for me because I played football the whole time. So I think my best weight, the most in shape, muscle wise, was when I was 305 pounds. But I played on the defensive line, so that's what coaches want us at: no lower than 3 pounds. Working out twice a day, eating 2,000 plus calories, like that's just what we did each
Yeah.
meal, to
Yeah.
sustain that weight because how much we're working out.
Yeah.
Well, then, the football life ends, right? Life starts. I got married, had kids, and start working. And, I wasn't working out like that as much, so I wasn't sweating out those calories. But I built a habit of eating like I was. So that didn't stop. So I
Yeah.
kept eating, 2,000 calories per meal, and that became my life. So then the weight starts to creep up, right, year over year over year over year. Um, so I guess what kind of changed things around for me that made me, there was a multitude of things because we as obese people, we've tried every diet that there is, right? We've done it over and over again, and we just continue to meet failure over and over again because a lot of the things aren't sustainable. They just aren't, right? So, but the thing that turned everything around for me is my son. At the time, he was 8, and he plays football, and I helped coach the football team. And I remember after the game, it was hot as hell. Right, we're in Texas now, and over 100 degrees, and it's just a desert out here. And all game, the sun is just beaming on me, and I'm drinking water, but obviously it's not enough. So after the game, we won, by the way. But after the game, walking back to the parking lot, I started to get so dizzy and lightheaded, and like to the point where I couldn't even move. It was like some type of paralysis, and I couldn't see anything. And I
Wow.
was able to make it to this tree that was under the shade. And I sat down at the tree, put my back against the tree, and I had to tell my son, I was like, "Hey, take my wallet, get some money out, go get me a couple Gatorades." So he runs up there to get the Gatorades. He comes back, he's like, "Dad, they're out of Gatorade." So I'm like, "Well, dude, give me some water." So he runs up, brings me like 3 bottles of water. I chugged those bottles of water, and it took like 10 to 15 minutes for me to actually recover and come back to. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, what if, something bad had happened at the park, and I would have been in a position where I wasn't even able to protect my kid. Like
Hmm.
he was in a position where I had to get help from him. And it was from that point, and I also have 2 little girls. So it was from that point, and I was like, you know what? I got to make a change. I got to make a change because if somebody was to physically try to do something to my kids or a family member, uh, with the shape that I'm in, there's nothing I can do. I can't even help defend them, right? And as a father, you want to protect and provide. Those are the 2 main things. And I didn't have the ability to protect anymore. So what I did was I started looking into weight loss surgery. So I booked a consultation, and then prior to me going to the consultation, I started like, okay, before I go in here, because I know I'm big as hell. I know that scale gonna say something crazy, so I want to try to get on the diet, lose a little weight. And I got on the scale after dieting for a month, and I was 455 when I weighed in. And I was like, well, damn, how big was I actually? Like, if I didn't, you know,
Yeah.
go on this diet, like, how big was I? And that was the biggest I had ever clocked in. And I remember at the time, my ex wife started crying because she was like, I didn't even see this come on. Like, I see you every day and I didn't even notice that you had
Yeah.
gotten that big. I was like, if you ain't notice, I ain't notice either.
Yeah.
Like, so I went through the consultation, did all the things to be approved for the gastric sleeve. And it was funny enough, I wasn't even sure I was going to do it. It was depending on, like, do I really want to pay for this? Like, how much it is, things of that sort. And at the time, I was working for Indeed, and I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and the doctors came back in. They were like, "Hey, you have really good insurance. We rarely see this, but they actually pay for everything." And I was
Nice.
like, "Well, in that case, I guess that's just I take that as a sign from God that, like, okay, I'm supposed to get it done."
Yeah.
So I got the surgery done within like 8 to 9 months. Lost a ton of weight, lost 170 pounds. Yeah, in like 8 or 9 months, it was good. It was hard mentally, um, sometimes hard physically. I wasn't always healthy about the way I went about things because I went back to I'm such a competitor, so I just went back to my old mindset. It's like something just clicked in me. And at the time, after my surgery, that's when I was going through a divorce as well. So I'm in the middle of going through a divorce, and I had just lost my job at Indeed. They did a 2,200-person layoff, so I just lost a $180,000 job a year, and
Wow.
then having surgery, and like all these things are happening at one time. So I just go into ultra competitive mode, like as if I was on the football field. And I started doing 2-a-days, right? So I was going to the gym 5 a.m. in the morning and going back 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And I was just busted. But I'm talking about to the point sometimes like I would be getting lightheaded in the gym, like
Mm.
have to reset because I was just going so hard. And I did that for a while until I stopped. I was like, all right, I'm doing a little too much. But yeah, I ended up dropping 170 pounds. But as we all know, the surgery, yeah, it's a tool. It helps you drop the weight. I don't regret it. I would do it all over again. If anybody is planning on doing it, I would give them all the information in the world and encourage them to, because it did work. But it didn't quiet the food noise. It didn't fix the bad habit with my relationship with food, right? For that was another part of things. I do believe that mental and physical health go hand in hand.
Mhm.
So I started therapy, right, to help with that. And not only did I started therapy with a bariatric therapist. Like that's what they specialized in. So, that helped out a lot, right? The healing process of that and not using food as an emotional response and building a healthier relationship with it and using, change and making it a lifestyle, right? Eating healthy. And it's okay to have things in moderation, but we're going to eat healthy for the most part and use food as fuel for my body,
Mhm.
not for happiness or sadness or boredom. Like separate what it means to actually take in food in your body, what it's doing to you. So um, did that, but life is happening. I have a lot going on at the time. I end up gaining it was like 35, 40 pounds back. And I came across GLP-1 medication one day on TikTok, and it was actually Mama Jen. And
Nice.
I didn't even the way it happened is not that I just stumbled upon her page. I was posting videos about my weight loss with gastric sleeve. And then Jen jumped in my DMs and was like, "Oh my God, you did such a good job, this, that, and the third." And we just got to talking. I was telling her, I was like, "Yeah, but start to gain a bit of it back." And then she was telling me about the medicine. And then boom, that's how I got started on the GLP-1. So that was back last year. I want to say Jennifer, March, maybe May. I think it was May of last year. I actually started the medicine itself. And yeah, it's been awesome. It's been great. Like the suppression, which is what I needed. I don't think about food. Like
Great.
I, I don't like. It's not something that's just on my mind all day, right? Because when you go from been in the shower thinking about food, been on the toilet thinking about food, eating breakfast thinking about lunch, eating lunch thinking about dinner, like what snacks I'm going to have later on that night. Um, a lot of that goes away. You're driving down the street, taking your kids to school, and then oh, I want to try that restaurant. Like those things just don't exist for me anymore. And Yeah, so it's been a great journey for me.
Amazing. Yeah, no, I mean it is I didn't know I had food noise until it was gone. And it for me it left like within 12 hours and it was just my mind was blown. I was like, what?
Yeah,
What is this?
absolutely.
And now I can drive by a fast food, and I know it's funny. I said once I was driving past McDonald's or one of those places. We only have so many out here. And I actually considered going in and I'm like, oh, maybe it's time to go up in dose. I'm kind of joking, but I don't know if I did, but it was like I hadn't done it in so long. I'm like, why am I even, it really made me like, but I didn't,
No, no,
nonetheless, it was
that's
interesting.
nice.
Yeah, no, that's what an amazing story. So with the medication, what route did you end up going? Did you go on brand name? Did you try for that? Did you go on compound? What did you do?
I went directly to compound.
Okay.
I didn't do any branding. I didn't go to my doctor and see if I could get approved for branding or anything like that. I just went directly on compound.
Right on. Right on.
Right on. Like
Yeah.
I never had branding.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, I've done both, but I'm mostly compound. So
Compound.
yeah. Yeah. Because I don't have coverage. So I mean I have insurance, but they don't cover it. So
They don't cover it, yeah. So it
yeah.
just makes sense.
Now, had you, before you started this journey, had you looked at like your numbers? Were your A1C high or cholesterol? Like, did you have anything that was out of good range and has it since improved?
So by that point, like I said, I had lost a significant amount of weight with the gastric sleeve. So all my numbers were like, pretty good. Like when
So
they
they
did,
improved because of the sleeve, though.
yeah, they improved
They were,
because of the
yeah,
sleeve,
yeah.
right? After that, I didn't really have any number issues. I was just, gaining the weight back because after the sleeve, I think my paperwork says I lost 96% of fat and only 4% of muscle. I
That's
was able to
amazing.
maintain it. Yeah. My surgeon, she was just like, I can't even like I've never even seen numbers like this before. But
Yeah,
it's because of how much I was working out and
yeah,
healthy.
yeah. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Um, I'm just looking at some questions here. So, being on the meds, like, did your taste for food change? Is there anything like you used to like that you don't like? Anything you can't tolerate, or are you pretty wide open there?
Yeah, my taste for food definitely changed. I mean, before the medicine, before any of it, like I would be able to take down a box of oatmeal cream pie in one setting. That was my Achilles right there. Any baked goods really, but those oatmeal
Yeah.
cream pies late at night, and I played the game a lot too, Call of Duty a lot. So it's
Okay.
just a bunch of snacks around you, and you're just going at it. Yeah, so that changed a lot for me because I don't have a taste for those things like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't keep them in my house also, so I don't give myself an opportunity just to go grab one of those as a snack. Like, do I
Hmm.
have things? Yeah, I have things. Like, but
Yeah.
if I'm gonna have something, it's gonna be worth it. Like, I want some fresh baked peanut butter cookies, or
Make it
something
worth
fresh
it.
baked.
Yes. Yep.
Like
Yep.
that's what I would indulge in. So that did change for me a lot. And then the only thing that I would say also changed that I can't eat anymore is salad.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
can't
So
eat
yeah,
it.
some people have a hard time with certain vegetables. Yeah.
As soon as I get it down, I have to go throw it back up.
Oh wow. Yeah. So that is interesting. I mean, I have no issues, but I've heard something about the greens and the roughage for some people. It's not. Yeah, that's
My
wild.
my stomach does not agree with salads anymore. I mean, I've tried now 4 or 5 times, and I say, you know what? I it's not meant to be no more.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, this is an interesting question. You brought up gaming. Besides food, have you noticed any changes in habits you had that you don't, that have shifted? Like I definitely did. There were things I just didn't even want to do anymore that had nothing to do with food. So I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, I would say part of because when I used to game a lot,
Yeah.
but right, part of that was the combination of, you know, being in a marriage you're ready to get out of, gaining so much weight that you're not happy with the way you look, you're not happy with the way the clothes fit, you're not happy with the pain. So it was just like a way for me to escape
Mhm, mhm.
reality, right? It was a way for me to, I mean, I would spend hours upon hours on it. And then once I started the my journey, I let that go. I let that go completely, and I replaced that with like just healthier things to do. Actually, going out now, because when you that big and you uncomfortable, you don't want to go out. You don't want
Yeah,
to go anywhere. Like it's
yeah,
like you're in this. Because that was my first time experiencing depression when everything was going on at one time.
yeah,
And it's just like you're in this constant state of depression where you don't want to be seen by anybody. You're missing out on family events. You're missing out on events with friends. And, you're making all these excuses because you can't put on a regular pair of jeans. You got to put on sweats, or I'm a huge shoe fanatic. Like I have so many shoes. And when I got to the point where my shoes were so tight on my feet that I was busting them out the sides, like it was, I don't want to go anywhere. I just wear flip flops now, or a
yeah.
big t-shirt. You can't walk into a department store and buy clothes off the rack. You just can't do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that was the one thing I stopped, which is playing a game. I stopped doing that completely, and just I replaced that with healthier things. I replaced that with actually going out to do things, like just the whole process of, just getting your life back and living.
Yeah, no, it's I fully resonate. I'm very similar in the sense that um I just had gotten to this place where I just, sure, if my mom was having a get together, I would go, but I didn't want to, and it all had to do with how I felt about, just where I was and everything. And then for me it was like I did the shot and the depression lifted, right, like I didn't know I was depressed. It was kind of like the food noise until I wasn't. And then it was like, wow,
Oh.
like this whole thing just lifted. And even though I hadn't lost the weight yet, there was still this weight that had lifted. So it's pretty wild.
It almost feels like a spiritual thing. Like it's just
Hmm.
like it's so hard to explain. You just want everyone who deals with the disease of obesity to experience it,
Yeah.
because you
Oh,
can't explain it.
nope. And I didn't even know I was dealing with it fully until it was gone, So it's like, how can you? It's yeah, no, I fully agree, fully agree. So let's see. Have you encountered along the way any stigma or misconceptions about being on these medications? And how did you deal with it, or how do you?
Yeah, I hear people say things like, "Oh yeah, I want to lose it the natural way," or uh, "I want to." That's like taking the easy way out. Saying things like that, and not knowing that a. So I would hear that about the sleep, and I hear that about the medicine, right? So you're putting your body through this, especially the sleep, right? You're going through surgery. You're putting your body through this physicalness. You can die, right, on an
Mhm.
operation table, right? So, what they call the easy way out, I think I chose a hard road to go through that and potentially not wake up when I come from under anesthesia,
Yeah.
right? The other thing is, even with the medicine, I don't care if you view it as easy or not. I don't give a damn,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it saved my life. It saved so many people's lives around me that I know. It gave me my life back. So whether it was easy or not, who gives a damn? If it's good, if it's easier for you to get healthier, then you should do it. You should do it. It should be an easy decision for you to make. So I
Yeah.
don't even see why people try to, uh, uh, you know, like come against people because they didn't just lose the weight by going to the gym and eating healthy.
Yeah.
First of all, a lot of people have tried that and it didn't work for them. It could be for medical reasons. It could be a lot of stuff, right? They're not as educated on, dieting and what workouts to do. Like there's a ton of things, ton of reasons that keep people from losing weight. People are obese and fat because they just fat and lazy. Like that's not what it is. And a lot of people don't understand that. They're just, a lot of people are just ignorant to the
Yeah.
fact that, your genes has a lot to do with. And if you have a family full of people that's obese, there's something there that's medical. right?
Yep.
That has nothing to do with your effort, with how you feel about yourself. But a lot of people don't understand that. But I say, if you view it as the easy way out, then I think that everybody should take the easy way out.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I get the people that are like, "Well, you're cheating." I'm like, "But who? Who am I cheating? Like, who am I cheating? You? I'm not cheating you. I'm cheating death." That's always my response. I'm cheating death. That's it.
There you go. I
You
was
know?
literally about to say that you're cheating
Yeah.
death. That's
I'm
it.
cheating death. I mean, I will live longer. My entire family on my mom's side has diabetes. They got it at my age, and I'm like, now I won't. That's
Mm.
huge because you know how bad diabetes can be.
Yeah.
So it's like, whew, yeah. So
I
that's
had a
great.
coach.
That's great. Go
I had a
ahead.
coach that used to say, "If you're not cheating, you ain't trying hard enough." So,
I like that. I like that. So, what are your thoughts for your journey on maintaining? Are you planning? Just what are your thoughts? What's your plan?
uh, so I mean, I don't necessarily see myself being like, okay, I'm at this weight, I want to come off the medicine. I know that a lot of people use the medicine as a maintenance um, type of thing, and I don't really know which way I'm gonna go,
Yeah.
and I'm not even really concerned with it.
Yeah.
Right, right now I'm at this point where I'm 10 pounds away from the goal that I set for myself. When I'm 6'1.5", I want to be 250.
Yeah.
I don't want to be any smaller than that. Be in the gym with it. Like I'm good to go. I don't want to be any smaller. I think also everyone's goal is different. Like I never had this goal of being like skinny, and
Yeah. Right.
that's not me. That's not who I am. I like being a big guy. I just want to be healthy and be in
Yeah.
shape. And so I don't know if I'm gonna continue or not. Maybe I'll get to 250 and I'm like, maybe 240 will look a little better for me. Who knows?
Right.
I
Right.
don't know yet.
I kind of have. I think when I get to wherever it is, I've got a little ways to go. I'm probably going to stop just because I want to know what happens. Is it going to come right back? I'm like, that's me though. I want to stop and just see, and then if I need to go back on, I'll go back on. But I haven't fully. I mean, we won't know till we get there anyway.
That's
At least
true.
some people. So, and
That's
other
true.
people, I get. If they have something really bad going on metabolically, or they're diabetic or whatever, they're like, oh no, I'm on it for life, and I respect that. So.
Yeah, respecting 1000%. I think at the end of the day, if people just learn how to mind their own damn business and be okay with people doing what's best for them,
Yeah.
it's not affecting you. Why are you
Yeah.
worried
I
about it?
know, I know. I'm like, why is it triggering you so
It's,
much?
it's so
Like, I
weird.
know.
I don't get it.
Well, and I think part of it has to do with how much society has stigmatized fatness, and that everyone just has this subconscious, you know what I mean? It's a society, it really is a societal thing, at least in our country. I don't know about other countries. It's just, and that's got to change. And I mean, we're hopefully going to help make that happen.
For some reason, I don't know. People just act like they just hate fat people. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
maybe they're
like
threatened, oh god, there's gonna be more skinny people.
I don't get it, but okay.
It's hilarious, it's hilarious. Okay, couple more questions, and this, just let me know what you think, but what's the most unexpected lesson you say you've learned along the whole journey? It doesn't have to be the meds, but just this entire journey, like, what's been unexpected that you've learned?
I've learned that I believe in myself a lot more. Not that I didn't believe in myself before, but I think that it was such a separation where I believed in myself, but I didn't always have the drive to finish what I started. Or so I think that I gained a lot of that. I gained a lot of um, independence and reassurance of myself and who I am. And it's like I knew this stuff, but
Mhm.
I get
Yeah.
to like it comes out more. And I think that would be the biggest thing for me. I developed this drive. I procrastinate a lot less, even though it's still part of my prayers to God just remove all
Oh,
procrastination from
yes,
my
yeah,
body. But I know that it's a lot less,
yeah.
and I would say that's the biggest thing I learned about myself.
Awesome, awesome. So, actually, I have a couple more questions, but
Yeah, go ahead.
how has being a part of a community very, very sad that TikTok might go away, but we're going to keep it going other places. But how has that helped you?
I think that helped a lot. Um, and it helped so much that that's the reason why I advocate for the medicine, and I do it because as a man going to get the gastric sleeve or do the medicine, there is not a lot of men that tell their story.
Yep.
There's not a lot of you ladies, you got it down pat. You guys are vulnerable. You make doctor's appointments and things like that. Us men, I have friends that haven't been to the doctor in 5, 10 years, right? We don't know what the hell is going on until something is going on, right? And we're forced to go into the hospital. And so I had to lean on the community, which is heavy populated with ladies that's willing to share their story, that I'm so grateful that they were, because when I was looking for other men, I just couldn't find anybody that I identified with, to be able to gather what their story is. Because when there's someone that you can compare your weight size to, and they're similar, their story's similar to yours, that makes it easier for you to relate and then want to do it and be encouraged. But I was able to grab that through the ladies, so that was awesome. That was awesome. It was just a loving community. Everyone's helping each other. Like, everyone has each other back. There's tips going around from personal experiences, and you hear those things, and you're like, that gives you the opportunity. Okay, I can do this to avoid that happening, or it just gives you an outlook on maybe something different that you can do when you start your journey. So, which is the reason now I get on the platform and talk about the medicines, because I want other men to be able to look and they find me and it's like, oh, okay, somebody I can relate to. And every time I go live, that's one of the things is, man, it's nice to see another man on here, because I always run into the ladies. So it's nice to see another man tell his story.
Yeah.
So that's the good part.
That's amazing. So important. So important. All right. Last question. What's one piece of advice you would give someone considering either or weight loss surgery or GLP-1s?
Take your measurements. Take your measurements, because the scale doesn't tell the full story. There are times that you're going to step on the scale, and there's people that's obsessed with the scale. They're on the scale 2, 3, 4 times a day. They go pee and then they go jump on the scale. Like, it just blows my mind. But I would say just take your measurements, because it doesn't tell the whole story. And at some point in the journey, and I experienced it, whether it was the bariatric side of things or the GLP-1 side of things, where the scale is not going down forever, however long that may be. It's not going down. And when you're an obese person that have tried to lose weight so many times and for so many years, you're used to the disappointment of, here's another thing I'm trying that's not working. And the reason, in my opinion, the measurements were so important is because that scale may not be dropping, but then you go and you remeasure everywhere, and you notice, oh shit, I lost 2.5 pounds. I mean, 2.5 inches on my thighs, an inch and a half on my arms, 4 inches around my waist. Like, and those things, you need that to remotivate you. You need that to give you that drive back, because the road is not always easy. It's not always pretty. But if you go into it with the community and you understand some of those challenges that you may face, it just gets that easier for you.
Yep. No, great advice. And pictures. Take photos. Lots of photos.
Lots of fun. You said one thing, so I
No,
didn't
I
go
know. I'm
into
agreeing. I'm
the
just
top
adding to
three.
what you said, because they're both, because I don't know. I have trouble getting initially I was like, I'm just going to put on something really tight and snap some photos. But I did do my measurements, and I actually recently did them from comparing to like a year ago. And I'm just like, holy crap. Wow.
It's
So
crazy.
it's pretty amazing. Well, thank you, Travis. This has been amazing. I really enjoy, hearing your story and learning more about it. Oh, wait. I want to ask you one more thing. Hold on.
Okay.
What's going on in your life currently? Anything you want to share?
I think you're referring to the fact that I have a ample GLP-1 baby on the way.
What does that mean?
That means that because of this community, you know, I ended up meeting somebody in this community, and her name's Macy, and um, now she's pregnant. So we're in a relationship. We've been in a relationship for a while now. She ended up getting pregnant. She's part of Amble as well. So the community has changed my life
Really.
in several different ways.
I was
Uh, Amble has changed my life in several different ways, and it allowed me to meet a wonderful person. So, and now we got a beautiful baby on the way.
unbelievable. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for giving your time today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. You're awesome, Kelly. It's always great to see you on live and see how much you help educate the people. And I love your no bullshit attitude. I love it to death. Like I am so drawn to it because that's how I am. I'm
Yeah.
like this, the younger version, right? I haven't gotten all the way to I really don't care how you feel, even though I don't. But so I appreciate that about you, and I
No,
appreciate you for having me on here and everything you do for the community.
absolutely. Yeah, and so anyone who wants to follow Travis on all of his different socials, I'm going to link everything down below in the description. So be sure and check that out. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, that was such a great interview. I have linked all of Travis's socials down below in the description. So be sure to check that out. And if you're not subscribing to my channel, please subscribe, give the video a like, and leave a comment and show Travis some love.